Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time. And as always, thank you to all feral venator of Surains, Lurks, Charlie, Morshadi, and John.
Yay, so many people. Today, we are going to start talking about the post-prologue of The Gathering Storm, which other people might call the book itself, or just The Gathering Storm.
The post-prologue?
The post-prologue.
Yep, that's what I've heard books referred to as.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's
another name for them.
Sounds right to me.
I think it's like chapter 1. It's called chapters.
Another name for them is the pre-epilogue part of the book.
the pre-epilogue.
No.
So, get ready for a lot of sad boy moments and some sassy Armelin moments and some Aiel moments or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, we have Sad Rand in chapter 1, we have Angry Egwene in chapter 2, and then we have Ugg the Aiel.
Pretty much.
That first chapter, well, start with something we're quite used to with the Wheel of Time. It starts with a wind. And yeah, that wind took the scenery route.
A big old queef from the crack of the world.
No, that's not what it was. No.
Not a queen.
We're not calling the wind like that, okay? We will not.
No.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was weird seeing, it was not weird, it was just like, oh yeah, the book starts with a wind, because every single Wheel of Time book starts with a wind.
Yep.
Yep.
But, yeah, I didn't have too many notes on that. I was like, it's just the wind. It went through Tarvalon, it went through the little rebel Aes Sedai camp, and then it went to Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes through the Caroline grass with a reminder that spring is late and that, did you know that this is the apocalypse?
Yeah. Yes, this is the apocalypse. Congratulations, we get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime, any chance they get to say like, hey guys, it's real bad, they take it.
Yeah. And I've noticed a few things within those 3 chapters that it's not the first, like, it's not the only thing where it's like, okay, yes, we get it. Like, I'll come back to that, but there's something that comes up in each of those 3 chapters, and I'm like, okay, we get it. Rand is not doing okay, and strength is not stillness, and this kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But first we start with Rand.
Yeah.
Rand is still and contemplative.
Oh boy.
And sad.
Oh, what a sad boy.
I am still. This cannot be fixed, and so I move on.
Huh? Oh my god.
That was my sad boy moment.
Yeah. I mean, really, this chapter was littered with sad boy moments, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sad boy moment is also in this chapter.
Yeah.
So,
Mine too.
I didn't even write a sad boy moment. I wrote an oops moment, because the whole chapter was a sad boy.
yeah, I agree with
That's
that.
fair.
I did find that not much happened in this chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say there was one thing that happened where I was like, I had to put the book down because I was like, oh, right, this was written by a cishet person.
Oh.
And it was a line about men.
Yes.
Rand just observing men saying,
my God.
why wear trousers only to trim herself up with lace?
It's just...
Rand had long abandoned trying to understand women. Understanding them would not help him reach Sheol Ghul. And I'm like,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, my comment on that was like, we got some reminders of the Randland checkerboard, Rand's short-term goals, and some gender bullshit. Guess we're really back into the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's so frustrating. Like, it's not a thing until it becomes like a big thing. And it's just like, God forbid a woman does anything.
Something.
For herself. Something.
God forbid a woman wear trousers and you can't think about it.
Yeah.
because that's not what Shale Ghul wants you to think about. Like,
what?
Do you see how those two things are not related at all?
Yeah.
Once again, a man trying to make it all about himself again with the most mundane thing.
Like, Rand, just kill the women. War crimes are okay if it's woke. Just
Oh no.
War crimes are okay. I mean,
no.
He's already committed like a whole bunch of war crimes. He's going to commit more.
Yeah. Honestly, a debate on the use of torture was not really on my bingo card. But I hated that it's gender-based. It's not about, oh yes, maybe we shouldn't torture people. It's, no, we shouldn't torture women.
Women. Oh, God.
Women? You can't torture women.
Just don't do tortures.
We should torture everybody.
They're precious. They're holy child bearers. Even Semirog.
Can you imagine if someone said that shit to Semirog's face?
She would be so mad. She would be like, fucking beat the shit out of me, you weak-ass motherfucker.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, not much happens in this chapter. So we got Bran dealing a bit with the madness. He seems very concerned about something that Semirog said at the end of the last book, apparently, about how the descent into terminal madness can be abrupt. And he's dealing with that. He's dealing with his missing hand.
Yeah, and the fact that he, like, lost a hand, like, hours ago, and it's just like, welp, okay.
What you gonna do?
Oopsies.
Oh, well.
Oopsies.
Yeah, oopsies.
Like, it's just, he's not in a good headspace.
Please, my guy.
Yeah,
yeah, he's deeply not okay.
It's really not.
Yeah. And, like, you get two very different reactions. Well, three really very different reactions where, like, Min is visibly concerned and distressed about this. Nynaeve is obviously distressed, and she's trying really hard to hide it. And Cadsuane is just, like, still as a pawn, like, not showing any kind of real reaction to his several instances of not being okay. It was interesting to see, like, sort of them through his eyes. But yeah, he's our boy is not doing okay.
So was it the first time that Bran actually talked to Liusterin while being surrounded by other people? I think that was, right?
I think so.
I believe so. I believe it was the first time that he yelled at Liusterin in front of everyone.
Yeah.
That was my oopsie moment of this read. It sucks when you shout at the 1,000-year-old man living inside your head who whispers things to you, and then you realize that everyone in the room just heard you shouting at yourself.
Oops.
Oopsies.
Yeah, I mean, what must that look like? What must that look like? Like, Rand is just having a mental breakdown in front of everybody, and everybody just has to be like, well, you're Jesus. So,
the Supreme Court has ruled you to be Jesus, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like having a phone call with, like, earphones that nobody can see, and nobody realizes that you're actually on a phone call, and everyone looks at you a bit crazy, a bit weird out.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, it's not just that this happened, it's that he does not want to address it at all. Like, he's not, this is not going to be something that will be discussed in depth. And which makes it does not help. Because, yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it really has a defeatist kind of vibe, in a sense that, yep, I can't do anything about it, so let's not focus about that. Let's really focus on the main important thing, what I need to do, like on the short term, what I need to do for Adamant, what I need to do for the Sunshine, and then the last battle that's coming up, let's focus on that, and that's it. And it's very much like, yeah, guy, you are drowning currently. This is worse than a burnout, and you are not acknowledging it.
Which does not help.
No therapy in my Randland.
No therapy in Randland. Why ever? I will say, like, I found it very funny that Cadsuane came in, like, when she first came in, and Rand asked, like, how it's going, and she's like, it's going well enough. And I'm like, let's define that. Let's break that down.
Yeah. And then you have Nynaeve almost immediately is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you kidding me?
What bitch are you interrogating?
Yes, exactly. I know. It's their interactions. I wish that we got more of them because their interactions are fascinating. Because they're both so like firm in who they are, and it really is like unstoppable force meets immovable object. Like it's just no one is gonna budge here.
Yeah, and then Cadsuane is just like, well, it's going well enough considering the fact that I can't, like, murder her.
I know. So wild.
Honestly, she was real for that.
Listen, yeah.
Like, what do you expect? She's a Forsaken. If you're just nice with her, what do you think she's gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but remember, guys, this is all leading up to a good spanking.
Yep. Spanking fixes everything.
It's all very, very important that we don't torture Semirog.
Yes.
A spanking that we had forgotten until, very recently.
Yeah.
I just want the scene in the TV show is all. It's like, I want the Nynaeve Cadsuane. No, the Nynaeve Cadsuane showdown, face off, whatever.
Oh, me too.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. I hope we get more of them on the show, quite frankly, because they're, again, they're dynamic. Whoever they cast as Cadsuane, I'm sure is going to be great.
It's like Moraine and Nynaeve in the show, but like even worse.
Even worse. Because like Moraine is very much like, she'll just walk away. She will walk away. Cadsuane will not.
She will not tolerate that.
Yeah, she will engage with Nynaeve. So...
Talking about Nynaeve, I did want to say that I was a bit offended on her behalf because when Nynaeve arrives in Rand's POV, you had something about how she gave no quarter to anyone she thought was abusing one under her protection, unless, of course, Nynaeve herself was the one doing the abusing. I was like,
come on, man.
Rude,
first off.
Excuse me? How dare you?
Oh my god.
I just remember when Nynaeve was introduced, it was like a cat. Like she was slinking in behind Cadsuane, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like the Nynaeve I know.
No, Nynaeve is not a cat.
Nynaeve is like an angry dog.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. I could see her as a really pissed off cat that you just tried to bathe.
You just tried to bathe. I think it would depend on the kind of cat.
Yeah.
The type of cat.
Some cats are very docile. Like Siamese cats are known for being very friendly and docile. Nynaeve would not be a Siamese cat.
Nynaeve would be like a pissed off alley cat.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
So we all had sad boy moments in this chapter. Did we want to go through what they were?
I mean, we can.
Or did we kind of touch on it?
Depends whether we want to do that. Like, do we have other things to say about this chapter? Or I still have a few.
Oh, I personally don't. But yes, go ahead, please.
I had another how dare you moment when he was talking about what to do with Semirage and to give her to the White Tower. And he says something about Egwene that made me go like, what the fuck are you talking about, boy? Like, Egwene might just let Semirag go and take me captive instead, force me to kneel before the White Tower's justice, and gentle me just to give her another notch in her belt. I'm like,
what?
Boy? What?
Yes! I know.
You grew up with Egwene, and you haven't seen her. I don't think he has seen her since she left the Aiel to go to Salidor. And now he's making such wild assumptions about her. When he knows, like, that Nynaeve has been talking to her regularly, right? Through the dream world.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. The idea that Egwene of all people, would let a Forsaken go in order to capture it, like, that's wild.
And that she would capture him and gentle him. Like, she's not a Leda. She's not... No. Rand is at this stage where he really doesn't trust anyone, and he doesn't talk about a lot of what's going through his head, which also means that sometimes we get funny moments where he's just thinking about something and then thinking about another topic and then suddenly talking about that topic, and everyone around him is like, whoa, that was a bit random.
It's what we call a spiral.
Yeah, like him suddenly talking about maybe we'll see Grendel when he was talking about something completely different with Min.
Right. He had a weird focus on Grendel, and then the box came in a little bit, and yeah. And then you have Luce there and in the background just sobbing and crying and laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like, too, so much of what Rand says right now, I do have to remind myself, like, this is not all him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of what he is saying is very much being colored by the madness that is currently over, like, that is still has a hold on him. Yeah. And so, you know, like, you have to, I'm going to try and give him a little bit of grace here, because I think Rand in his right mind would know that Egwene would not do that to him. Would know Egwene well enough.
He should know.
Right, like the paranoia is clearly catching up to him a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's doing a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny, like, in the text itself, since both Lucerian's thoughts and his thoughts are, like, written the same way, sometimes it's even hard to distinguish which ones come from the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That boy is not doing okay.
I also saw in a couple of your notes, both, like, several, like, you guys wrote about a sword. I don't remember a goddamn thing about a sword.
Yeah. Like, he had a real focus thing about how he had found this sword, and that was great. And I thought it was, like, the sword in the stone for a minute, and I don't think that's the one. Isn't that the sword he got from Karen or something like that?
Yeah.
Probably.
My thing about the sword is it's called Justice. And you're going, this is my Mountain Dew moment. You're going to name a whole ass fantasy world. You're going to do all this stuff, all these cool names, and then you're going to name your dick stand-in Justice.
Justice.
Just Justice.
I feel like if I just type Wheel of Time Justice, maybe that's not going to give me what I want.
Wheel of Time Justice sword, maybe.
It belonged to Arthur Hawkwing.
Hot Wings. Arthur Hot Wings.
Hot Wing, yeah.
I also said that I hate to say this, but Ram, baby girl, you got to kill some women because it'll make you a better feminist if you start killing women too.
You heard it here, folks.
Killing women makes you a better feminist.
You heard it here.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it is.
Killing women makes you a better feminist. That's not going to be the title. That is not the title.
I mean, it might be.
It could be the title.
It could be.
I am not going to have something that violent as the title.
Just a little itty-bitty killings.
Just as a treat.
That'll get us, like, removed from Spotify.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably so.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe bale firing women will make you a better feminist. Bale firing
that
women
might be
will make
okay.
you a better feminist. Oh my God, I can't.
No, it's not natural anymore. We're spending too much time, like, figuring out what the title exactly should be.
We can't workshhave the title. It needs to be spontaneous.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'm sure that we'll have more occasion to have this to have a title for this episode. So do we want to move on to the sad boy moments?
Yeah, the sad boy moment. Mine was just, here, I'll just read it.
Mm-hmm.
He still thought of them that way, his hands, though now he only had one. His left arm ended in a stump. He could feel the smooth, Saidar-healed skin with the fingers of his good hand, yet he felt as if his other hand should be there to touch. Steel, he thought. I am steel. This cannot be fixed, and so I move on. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh, boy.
What the fuck is going on with you that you can't even, like, shit's bad, yo. Just say it with me. Like, shit's bad, yo.
It's okay to be sad.
Yeah, it's okay to be sad about it, please.
Like, and this is him kind of being sad about it, but not really. He's like, well, it sucks. Anyway.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Yikes.
What was yours, Kat?
Mine was, I'll read mine as well. Light, he thought. I'm losing control. Half the time I don't know which voice is mine and which is his. This was supposed to get better when I cleansed Sidene. I was supposed to be safe.
He cleansed Sidene and he was like, well, I'm good now.
I'm all good. I did the work.
It's like I popped an SSRI and now I'm cured.
Yep.
I took one Prozac and now I'm happy.
Oh boy.
It's anyway. For me, mine is actually like a few lines after Kat's because it's the last line of that chapter. For the moment, Luce-Teryn cries seemed enough for both of them. Because, Luce is crying in Rand's head Rand wants to cry and can't. So I guess that's gonna be enough.
Poor baby.
Sad boy. Poor buddy.
I'm bad at taking quotes because I read my physical copy and I don't read with the computer or anything. But and also I just didn't do a sad boy moment because the whole chapter was sad boy. So I just said my oopsie moment was.
I mean, that's valid.
That's fair.
Him having a little mentee bee in the middle of a meeting with all these people for them to see him just sort of lose it. Oopsies. Oof.
Okay, let's move on to something a bit more.
Something a little bit...
A bit more upbeat.
A bit.
A little bit more peppy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone with a bit more conviction and positivity despite being in a shit situation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Egwene.
Oh my god.
Egwene in chapter 2 was like the Egwene that I look forward to reading.
Yes. I said the same exact thing.
Me too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
This chapter reminded me why I love Egwene so much. She's incredible. So much conviction, so much strength. She's taking beatings like a champ or like an Aile. Yeah, no, that's not great either. Please, can we not have any beatings in the TV show? Or actually, I'm curious whether they will have some for this because there's a reflection from Verin in season 2 about how she used to be switched in the White Tower, and it seems to be something old. And I feel like Elida would be the type of person to bring that back.
Bring it back. Bring back switching.
Especially for like the fake Armyrlin.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we're going to bring beatings back for this, and it's going to be very reminiscent of her time with the Shan-Chan, and that's just going to like bring her back a little bit further and steal her a little bit more.
There's another moment in that chapter a bit later where it made me feel that the show was already setting things up in a way, because there's a reflection about Egwene when she sees Elida's own quarters and it's like full of so many things, and she has a reflection about how she had never seen any other Armyrlins on private quarters, but she would think that Swan's were a bit more simple.
And everything would have a purpose and
very functional.
And now we have seen Swan's quarters, so it will be very interesting when we'll get to see Elida's quarters.
Right.
I like that.
It's going to be garish as hell.
Oh, for sure. So many silks, different, like, brightly colored silks, and
it's going to be so gay.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely gay.
Jinx Monsoon for Elida.
Elida's already been cast.
She's been cast.
God damn it. Can we have Jinx Monsoon as somebody, though?
I mean, Jinx Monsoon is Grendel. I would take that.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Oh, yeah. Jinx Monsoon is Grendel. Just Jinx Monsoon is like everybody that hasn't been cast yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
Elida's so goddamn stupid. That's one of my things. Also, like, I'm glad for this reread because, like, as much as I love Pavara, and I do love her, she's my favorite red, this read reminds me of Sylviana and how much I like her, because not to spoil things for anybody who's not read past, but her interactions with Egwene are always fascinating given the layers of alliances and priorities and moralities on different sides, and just how her relationship with Egwene like proceeds. Like, I'm looking forward to that specifically. But yeah, I'm mad that I forgot about Sylviana because she's such an awesome red Aja.
She's great. She's fantastic.
So cool.
Yeah, I didn't write her name down when I was taking my notes, so I was like, who the fuck are you talking about? And then I remember the Mistress of Novices, and she is... she was pretty great in this episode. Like, she's just there doing her in this episode of the Wheel of Time. In this chapter of the Wheel of Time. She was just doing her duty, but she's like, I loved it when she was like quietly spying on them. And then she just closes the door, and I'm just like, girl, you're not that sneaky.
She's gathering that information.
But I appreciate what this is like, what the storytelling element is doing.
B for effort.
Yeah.
It really shows that like Egwene has been in the White Tower for not a long time because she still hasn't met Elida. She already has done a few things because she mentions that novices are already chatting about things they shouldn't know about, which probably comes from Egwene. Yeah. So she's trying already to undermine Elida from that low position she has. And it must have been probably less than a week or two, I guess. And some Aes Sedai are already changing how they are considering her. Sylviana is noticing how she's reacting to the bidding and how she's talking and how she's sticking to her line of I am the Amerlin and Elida is the shit here. And you see Aes Sedai is being confused by her more than being mad, or like they could just disregard her.
Right, like that's the thing. Like they all know that she was raised the Amerlin by all of these other sisters in the rebel camp. So like regardless of their feelings about Egwene, they still respect their sisters.
Yes.
Less obviously because they're rebels, but like they must think that there's something in Egwene for them to have raised her Amerlin.
But like they could have gone directly to just she's a tool and that's it, because Egwene has never been raised as an Aes Sedai. She's not an Aes Sedai, and still Egwene speaks with some authority, and they find themselves listening to her when they would be telling any other novices or what's the second level? Accepted to shut the fuck up whenever they dare to open their mouths in front of an Aes Sedai.
Yeah, it's because Egwene has the same thing that Swan has, right? She exudes this authority, and she is the Amerlin.
She learned from the best.
Yeah, she learned from the best. She exudes this authority. She is the Amerlin, and so she doesn't have to she's not trying to prove anything to anyone. She just is the Amerlin, and people like the sisters in the tower are picking up on that.
Right.
And it's already, she hasn't, I think it might even say in the chapter how long she's been there, but it has not been a long time at all.
Yeah.
And already.
I got the feeling it had been like 2 weeks, if that.
Yeah. That sounds right. Yeah. But it's impressive. Like you see both her training with the Aiel, and I know we have our issues with the Aiel, but in this specific case, it is really it is doing Egwene really, really well. So you see that, and then also her time with, unfortunately, the Shan-Chan. And I think the sort of perfect storm of those two experiences are really stealing her in a positive way, if that makes sense. Where with Rand, we saw he's saying that he's stealing whatnot. He is downward spiraling. He is not doing well. He is headed for a crash. But with Egwene, we see the opposite. We see her stepping into her own and really owning that confidence that comes with knowing that you're the Amerlin. And I think the other sisters can't help but be impressed by it, even if it's quietly impressed, but they're impressed by her.
Yeah, I think it would be super easy to write off what Egwene is feeling or doing as delusion. Clearly she's delusional. She's not doing, she's not the Amerlin. But then they see her act like the Amerlin in the face of Elida, who is acting like
a child,
an idiot.
Yep.
And they're like, well, maybe.
And she's noticing and pointing out issues within the White Tower that have been created by Elida and by the coup, and that every sisters are aware of and are afraid of, because that's now how the White Tower used to be. There's a lot of moments where we see Aes Sedai of different Ajas not trusting the other Aja. Aes Sedai in their own quarters feeling insecure when they should be at home.
Right. I think the thing that shocked me the most was that people are embracing the power and holding it.
Yeah.
As if they're going to be attacked or something. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oof, yikes.
That to me showed how dire things were in the tower.
Oh yeah. It the 1-2 combo of the Block Asha doing their shenanigans, and then also Elida doing her shenanigans it's been devastating for the tower. And combined with now Egwene has the knowledge that, hey, listen, the Shan-Chan are coming, and so we have to get ready. We need to be prepared for this. And we are not in anywhere any state to be prepared for this, because everyone is so divided. Everyone is paranoia has spread like wildfire here. It's it would be so easy, I think, for her to panic, and to kind of go the Elida route of forcing her will upon people, but nope, she is calm, as calm as she can be, which is, it's fascinating to see.
And I think it's also the contrast between her and Elida that makes that other people, when Medani listens to Egwene, that was a very interesting conversation where Medani at first is like, hey, you're not a sister, don't talk to me like that. And Egwene is like, I'm your Amerlin, and you know that. And you know that we need to do something about the situation we're in because there's the last battle coming and there's a sentience coming and we need to get our shit together and act. And it is possible and not everything is lost and we can do it. So call for me. And she's giving orders to a sister. And also the whole situation between Medani and Elida is so...
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, I was like, when Egwene was wondering why Medani is still there, and I'm like, listen, Elida is conducting lesbianic psychological warfare on her. That's what's happening.
That's sexual harassment.
Yes, it's bad. It's real bad.
Wait, is Medani the one that she used to be pillow friends with?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and at this point,
that's why this is going on.
Yes. Yeah, like Elida knows that she's spying on her, but I don't think Medani is aware that she knows. She doesn't know that she knows. And so is still trying to get close to Elida to get secrets from her, and is like trying to use their past to get close to her, and Elida's just allowing it to happen and just kind of like stringing her along, which is like, yikes. Yikes.
That is a yikes, indeed. It's just another notch on the why I hate Elida belt.
Yeah, I mean,
she's the best.
Elida thinks she's being very clever and stuff, but it's just such bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not on board with the bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, either.
She's a good example of the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
The less intelligent somebody is, the more intelligent they think they are.
Oh, yeah. And when she started going on about like adding a fourth oath, and like everyone in the room was like,
Right.
I mean, everyone in the room. It's only Medani and Egwene.
But like,
and Egwene drops the soup as a result.
Yes.
Yeah, my note said
she got so mad.
My note says Egwene hates her so much that she spills soup on the rug, and I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. The extra beating that she knew she was gonna get from that was for Egwene was absolutely worth it, because she was just like, I mean, what the fuck?
I mean, Egwene came to see Elida with a specific goal in her mind. She wants Elida to think she has won, so that Egwene can keep doing her job without being like locked down somewhere where nobody can talk to her, which would be what happened if Elida thinks there's indeed a risk with Egwene.
Right.
But since Elida doesn't think so, then Egwene can still see everyone and be seen by everyone. And that fourth oath was so shocking to Egwene, in part because like she got to learn from Swan, for example, that like about the importance of the oath, because I think Egwene earlier in a few books ago had very different ideas about the importance of the oath, and probably wouldn't have been as shocked about that fourth oath than she is right now. But like now she understands why those oaths are here, and it's not just about limiting, like it's really about ensuring that other people can trust the Aes Sedai.
Right.
Yeah, it's oof.
I did love Egwene at the end of this chapter when she finally had, like, she had her own mini little veins of gold moment here when she was like, look, it doesn't matter what you do to me. It doesn't change a goddamn thing. I'm still the Amerlin seat, and you're beating the Amerlin seat, so have fun with that.
Yeah, enjoy that.
Yeah, and so when you beat me, you beat the Amerlin. Yeah, and you were talking earlier about the lesson from the Ailes, and about being strong and hard, or at least that being hard would lead to strength, which is also what Rand is trying to apply. They're very not like Egwene and Rand are so similar in those 2 chapters because
I will say that the entire series is them.
They're mirrors.
Like it's all about their story, and the last 3 books especially are really just their stories.
Yep, 100%.
It's really true, but like seeing those 2 chapters back to back really shows because Rand is all about being steel, and also like Egwene when she says to Elida, I take it because I must. That's what Rand is thinking when he's like, okay, well, I can't do anything about that, so let's keep going because things needs to be done.
Right.
But Egwene kind of had this revelation that Rand's going to have later on about how like the strength is not coming from the being hard. Like I assume that just had to be harder, and that was what would teach me to laugh at pain, but it's not hardness at all. It's not strength that makes me laugh. It's understanding.
Yes.
That's something that's a lesson that Rand will need to learn.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
I love her so much.
Yeah, I really love Egwene.
What a good chapter. Oh my god.
Yeah, this was a great chapter.
Yeah.
I think all 3 of our burn of the weeks came from this chapter as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, did we want to read those really quickly?
Yeah.
Sure.
Mine was something that wasn't quite said. It was just thought, but it was so no curtsy, Elida asked as Egwene entered the room. They said you were stubborn. Well then, you shall visit the mistress of novices when this supper is through and inform her of the lapse. What do you say to that? That you are a plague upon this structure, as vile and destructive as any disease that has struck the city and people in all years past. That you and then it just cuts off, and I'm just like, holy shit.
Listen, she was casting a spell on her. Like, that's what was happening there.
That was a ritual.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that was a curse.
I mean, she'll be saying that quiet part out loud soon, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. I'm so... Anyway. Whew, I'm excited.
My burn came a bit earlier in the chapter when she's talking with those Aes Sedai after being beaten up a first time by Sylviana. I should think that the Red should not be the one sheltering Elida, but should instead provide her fiercest critics, for Elida's legacy will be your own. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Shade.
Oof.
Shade.
I know. They went to bed thinking about that. They absolutely went to bed thinking about that.
That's when Sylviana closed the door.
Yeah.
That's when Sylviana was like, wait,
it's
fuck.
so good. She's like, oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh my god.
And right after that, what did Sylviana do? She went to see, she checked out at the library the history of the rise of various Amelin.
I love it. So good. Once again, Sylviana, like obviously Egwene MVP of the chapter for sure, but Sylviana is a very close second here. Like, she is fantastic.
Yeah, like you can see Egwene's, I don't want to say like machinations, but like you can see the work that Egwene is doing directly through Sylviana's actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really well done. So I will say, like, you know,
it is really done. Yeah,
it's I think that was done really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
agreed. My burn / insult of the week, it's actually from Elida, and I chose it because it was so out of pocket. Elida said, when we were novices, I don't remember you being so slow of wit, my Dani. You haven't impressed me these last few weeks. I begin to wonder why you were ever given the shawl. Perhaps it never belonged on your shoulders in the first place. I was like,
that's a low-ass blow. That's a low blow.
Because, like, the layers to that, because, like, during this time, I'm assuming that my Dani and Elida have been doing some fucking
slap and tickle.
I'm assuming that's what's been happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, and like within that time, Elida is now aware that she is spying on her, and so Elida is playing this once again lesbionic psychological warfare. It's wild and so mean. It's
right.
So mean.
All right. Yeah, I it was basically just like, here, let me call you a stupid bitch that's unimpressive.
Yeah. Exactly.
But fancier.
See you in my bed later, I guess.
Right.
Like,
this is foreplay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, overall, really good chapter. Do we want to move to chapter 3? Because I don't think we have that much for chapter 3.
Matt, did you have a burn, or?
I mean, like I said, I can't really do quotes. Like, I can't really like write quotes
okay.
on. I mean, because but I agree with James is like that. Like when I read that, I was like, okay, yep, that's going to be my burn of the week, because anytime Egwene is sassing off to Elida is going to be my burn of the week. Yeah. So
yeah. In chapter 3, we have Aviendha. And I got my first note before I started reading it was ugh in Aviendha chapter. And then I was like, I literally had a hard time reading this chapter because I'm just going to say, like, why is every fucking Aiel chapter these wetlanders are so strange? They have to say it 100 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
it's so annoying.
And like, it would be one thing if like the quote unquote wetlanders didn't make any kind of effort to understand the Aiel. That would be one thing, but that's not the case. It's very much the opposite of that. There have been like several characters who have made an actual effort to understand their culture and their ways, and the Aiel make no effort, negative effort, in fact, and still like, oh my god.
Other Aiel, yes, Aviendha still think a lot about those weird wetlander, but there's one person she keeps thinking about, and it's not Rand.
Oh my
it's
god.
Elaine.
Yes. Listen, it's
she's constantly thinking about Elaine and how to be good enough for her. I'm like,
it's so wild.
That's so gay. I mean, she does think also about how to be good enough for Rand, which pisses me off because there's a reflection about how her main problem about still being an apprentice is that she's not good enough to marry Rand. I'm like, what?
Girl.
Girl, no, that's not a thing's word.
It's not that you're not good enough to marry Rand, it's that you're a lesbian and you don't want to marry Rand.
Yes, this is the problem.
You're meant to be with his other wife.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay. We love that for you.
Yeah, it's... What would Elaine think? What is Elaine doing?
I know that Elaine would do this. Elaine dressed me up one time and I didn't like it, but I actually did.
Maybe I got a bit too soft spending so much time with Elaine and Bath and Silk. And
right. Near the end, like, I really loved being put in silks by Elaine, and I'm like...
Girl. Girl.
You okay?
The closet is glass at this point.
The closet is glass.
It's glass and it's cracked.
Yeah.
I will say, there was a really aggravating moment with me with Aviendha, and is it okay if I read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. They were a sorry lot, these Domani wetlanders, with dirtied faces that had not seen a sweat tet in months, their emaciated children too hungry to cry. She'd never understood how wetlanders could be so blind. Didn't they watch, noting any oddities on the horizon? Couldn't they see that traveling so near to a hilltop practically invited scouts to spy on them? Didn't they care? Aviendha shivered. How could you not care about eyes watching you? Eyes that might belong to a man or maiden holding a spear. Were they so eager to wake from the dream? Still, she felt pity for these refugees. The emotion surprised her. And I was like, yeah, it surprised me too, Ursula Sea Witch. Like, she's just sitting here like poor unfortunate souls.
Jesus.
Being like, look at how amazing, like literally, these displaced Domani that are like driven from their homeland, whose children are too emaciated and starved. And she's like, look at how fucking pitiful they are.
It's like, God, this is embarrassing.
If only they were tougher like me.
If only they could just, like, why can't they just live on the land?
Right?
And I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
It's like, what, like it's hard?
So bad.
My note was, Aviendha thinks displaced Domani are weak, but still, she feels pity for them because Elaine is teaching her human emotions.
Great progress. Great progress.
Oh my god. That was rough. I was like, girl, what? They're refugees. What do you want from them? Maybe help them. Yeah. What the fuck?
These refugees are stupid. I hate refugees.
Oh my god.
Aviendha is so Republican coded.
What are you? I was just gonna say, what are you, a Republican?
Aviendha is a Republican.
Yes.
She's from the Front National.
Oh no!
She's a Le Pen!
Oh, gross. That makes me want to throw up.
No, not Le Pen. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I will more positive thing. I do so. Amos is arguably my favorite of the the wise ones. I did like I like her. I did think it was cute. So I think Rourke was like shade of my heart, which is a very cute term of endearment. I was like, oh, that's sweet. That's cute.
Aww.
I like these two. That's nice. They can stay. They're fine. They're not too much.
I mean, they're fine. I think the whole bit about, I can't remember what Aviendha is being punished for.
No, neither do I.
I do remember she's being punished for nothing. The reason she has to is that she's not a wise one yet. And she doesn't realize yet that she is learned enough to become a wise one. So they basically trying to make her hungry so that she actually go and become a wise one.
I thought it was something kind of like that. Like she was being punished because she can take it, and then they're just waiting for her to not take it anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I'm just like, that's so stupid.
That's such a weird graduation ceremony.
Yeah, real weird.
Like counting the seeds, and she was like, oh my god, I must have done something horrible. And I'm like, just throw the seeds in her fucking face.
Just throw them away. Exactly. Oh boy.
Yeah, especially like Aviendha has this thought about, oh, it's a punishment that has no purpose, which makes it even more shameful.
She's so close to figuring it out, but not quite. Like, she's right on the verge there.
What frustrates me with that is I am pretty sure that it's gonna last forever.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the Aiel are just like this. And I don't miss the Aiel. This is the thing. We've done the rant about the Aiel before. Go listen to one of the previous episodes. But, like, insert whatever I said back then about in here. Fucking hate the Aiel.
They're very annoying. I just don't like the chapters at all. I don't understand the point of their punishment, and it's just, I just listened to our last rant on the Aiel because my opinion hasn't changed based on the reread.
Yeah.
There was one moment that I did find interesting within the chapter. In the chapter, there's nothing happening in that chapter, by the way.
No.
Oh yeah, nothing happens. Aviendha is just like scouting, and then she's punished. And I'm like,
basically,
okay, that could have been 2 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she does have a conversation with the wise ones about Rand that I have issue with, because there's like, oh, I will marry him and this kind of thing. I'm like, girl, you're going to marry Elaine. She says something about, he's a man of many burdens. What did she say exactly? I worry that he mistakes hardness for strength. And that's like third time in the third chapter that this is coming up. I'm like, okay, Sanderson, we got it.
We get the point. We get it.
We get the point. Get the point. Did you know it's an apocalypse? Did you know that strength and hardness are not the same thing?
Right.
Oh boy.
No, not much on that chapter. It was just the Aiel doing Aiel things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have anything else to say about those 3 chapters?
No.
Obviously, second one's the best one.
Second one was clearly the best one.
Mm-hmm.
The first one was fine. The third one was just bad.
Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, these post-prologue chapters are really good.
Title of the episode: the post-prologue chapters are very good.
They're excellent chapters.
Outstanding.
Of the post-prologue part of the book.
All right. So, next week next couple of weeks from now, we're going to do episodes again. Chapters 4 through 6 of The Gathering Storm. I read ahead a little bit, and the chapter 4 is a Gawain chapter, but thankfully it's very short. Very, very short.
Very short.
Yeah, it's super short.
And then it's Rand, and then it's Rodel Ethered.
Yeah, I don't care about that one. I'm excited for the Rand chapter, hopefully.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Okay, so I do have a question. I don't remember how it was with Jordan, but I remember that when I switched from Jordan to Sanderson, I felt like we were switching between POV a lot more often or a lot more quickly. Is that something that you also feel or not? Because, like, for example, Gawain is going to be a six pages chapter with his POV, and then we are going to have a 15 pages chapter on Rand, and then something that is also very short about Rotel. And
yeah, I feel like we're skipping around a little bit, but I don't
Yeah.
I don't dislike it. I think it's just his just his style, but there was a lot more continuity or more sequential chapter POVs when it came to
You stayed in Jordan's or you stayed I think Brent I think Sanderson, I think his style is very much skipping around POVs.
It is, okay. Just from having read Stormlight, it's similar. It's a similar style to Stormlight, which I'm used to because I've read most of the books. But yeah, I think that is the case. It's also hard to tell because the latter books are the ones that I remember the most, and so I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, thank you for listening to this episode of The Queers of Time. You can find us on Discord mostly, but we're also on Twitter, and I was about to say Facebook, and I'm like, no, we're not.
Facebook.
Blue Sky,
all of those cool places. If you want to support us, Tumblr. If you want to support us further, we have a Patreon. What? I was going to say Patreon.
Patreon.
No, I'm just being silly.
We have a Patreon if you want to support us there. We really love and appreciate all of your support. It means the world, and it helps us fund this podcast and, do cool things with it. Like, continue to make it.
So, put your pussy where your mouth is and give us money.
Okay. Well, bye.
All right.
Bye.
On that note, bye.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.